You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Abigail 2024. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. Abigail, the trailer. I didn't know what to think when I first seen it. I thought it was a demonic movie, and then somebody could look at vampire movies as demonic, but that's what I thought it was at first until I thought it was like, like exorcist type stuff, and then I looked more into it and seen that it was a vampire movie. And let's just go over the synopsis. After a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat in an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. So let's go over the cast. So it's a short cast. You got Melissa Barrera plays as Joy. Melissa Barrera played in Scream 5 and 6. Those, the last two Screams was actually good. It's hard to come in like a franchise like Scream and be able to bounce back and do like the last two Screams was like real good. So I reviewed them, checked them reviews out on my channel. You got Dan Stevens as Frank, Michael Cartlett as Rickles, Alicia Ware as Abigail, Catherine Newton as Sammy, Kevin Dunred as Peter, Giancarlo Esposito as Lambert. He just was in The Gentleman that I just reviewed for Netflix series. Check that review out as well. And Angus Cloud plays as Dean, and Matthew Good plays his father. So this movie is not the best, and it comes off like it's a horror. It's nothing horror about it. It is gore. It's a lot of gore with the killings, but they make it comedic, so it's humorous where it takes away the horror part of it. So it's not the thrill and like it's like a thriller horror. No, it takes away from that with the humor. So it's not like a bad movie, but the humor takes away from the horror part of it. So I just look at it as, a killing movie, and it's humorous because they make jokes, and it's not meant to be taken serious, especially with her doing ballerina moves. And this is supposed to be something like, I guess there was a movie out there with the daughter of Dracula's daughter. So this is like a reboot of that. So nevertheless, the movie starts off with Abigail is at her, I don't know, dance recital or practice, wherever she was at, for her ballerina, and it shows her getting picked up in a Bentley or Rolls Royce. I think it was a Rolls Royce, and with her chauffeur. Then you got these other people who's plotting and planning in her house. So she's talking on the phone with somebody. She hears something, but pretty much act like she didn't hear it. And so right after she got off the phone, the goons come in and kidnap her, make it their way out. They get in a van, and it begins. They get to this is happening in New York City. They get to a secluded mansion, and let the big games begin. They put her in a room, put a blindfold over, and pretty much handcuff her. Now, from that point on, Lambert pretty much tells everybody, you just need to stay here for 24 hours till the coast clear. Each of you will receive $7 million apiece. And then none of you are supposed to talk to the girl. None of you are supposed to talk to each other. You don't need to know each other. It's just that you all are good. You've been highly recommended, and you're good what you do. So, of course, none of them don't know each other. But then you have Joey. First, it was not Joey. It was Dean. He started to read everybody, but he was reading everybody totally wrong. So then Joey, she started to read everybody, and she read everybody totally right. And then when she got to Frank, she said Frank was a ex-cop Peter, he was the muscle. He used to get picked on back in the day, but then he got bigger than everybody and he turned the ties. Rickles, she didn't say nothing about Rickles, but Rickles was an ex-military. That was both him and her's connection because she was in the military too. Sammy was a spoiled rich kid, but she was a good hacker and she hacked into her parents' accounts and put money offshore. And she's just doing this for kicks. And so what happened from there? Frank came back at her and said, pretty much, you're a junkie. That Joy was a junkie. So nevertheless, Joy said, I'm going to go check on the little girl. Goes and check on Abigail. Abigail's playing the little girl role, and Joy promised her she wouldn't let nothing happen to her. Joy showed her, took the blindfold off of her and uncuffed her and then cuffed her from the front, which will come back and help her in the end. So after that, Joy came back downstairs, and while Joy was talking to Abigail, Abigail mentioned who her dad was. And she said her dad was Lazarus. And so when Frank heard that name, he pretty much said, yo, I'm getting out of here. So they said, no, Frank didn't hear that. My apologies. Frank went up there to talk to Abigail. When he came back, she told him who her dad was, and that's when he said he gotta get out of here. So when he came back, and he was like, "Listen, y'all can have my cut, and her dad pretty much could have everybody killed." So at that, everybody started getting concerned, and when they start getting concerned, everybody, for whatever reason, people in a mansion, nobody scoped out, nobody knows what's in the mansion, and they just going in here blind. Nobody did no recon of the mansion. So, I review a lot of movies, so when I do see movies with the obvious, that kind of stuff agitate me or whatever. But nevertheless, it's a movie. Nobody did no recon so they all split up. Typical whatever movie. They all split up in different ones, roaming the house, and they just need to get through 24 hours. And see, at that point, things start happening. So Dean is attracted to Sammy, and of course he tried to push up on her, but she pretty much told him go somewhere. Dean was roaming in the kitchen, and off to the kitchen is like an area that leads to, like, I think the basement or the pool area. Yeah, that's what it leads to, like to the pool area. And Dean was pretty much smoking weed and looking, and he was seeing like different stuff on a wall, and he seen a picture of Abigail, the little girl. Right at that moment, he didn't get a chance to get away. Abigail killed him and pretty much sliced his head off, but she put his head right back on his body. So Sammy came out running like to see what's wrong, and when she touched his head fell off in her arm. So she screamed. Everybody came downstairs, and so now they know something is up, and they like, you did that, and she like, do it look like I could do something like that to cut his head off just like that? And so everybody was like, all right. Well, Rickles was like, it's time for me to get out of here. I'm gone. So he tried to get out the door, but the door was bolted shut. And then what's his name? Peter tried to break the door because he's the big guy. He didn't get through either. So Rickles was like, then they seen the windows start to shut down and heavy armored. So they say, yo, this is a trap. So at that moment, Rickles went upstairs because he had his rifle upstairs. He went up there and his rifle was gone. So now they all saying, we got to figure a way out of here. Now, they had this story about Valdez, this there was a person named Valdez, and it was, there was heavy armor with the FBI. It was only three co-defendants in the room, and when the FBI came the next morning, everybody was dead. And so Abigail told Joey that Frank was working for her dad or whatever. So they started causing some friction between everybody. And once again, everybody split up, said they was going to take guard of different parts of the house. Now, at this moment, it's only 5 of them left. So you got Frank, Rickles, Peter, Sammy, Joey. 5 left. And so Rickles and Joey pretty much made a pact. We're going to look out for each other. They both was in the military. They don't trust everybody else. Rickles walked away from her like less than a minute. He just was paused, and she was like, Rickles, you okay? By the time she got to him, he was sliced and killed. So down to 4. Now the next 4 people, which is Sammy, Frank, Peter, and Joey, they last pretty much throughout the whole movie. Different things. They all start to. This what makes it humorous, because now when they finally find out that Abigail is a vampire, and she pretty much, they said stop putting on the act, and then she start laughing with them, and she's doing the whole ballerina dance, and they all try to attack her. And when they tried to attack her, she beat them up, and she was just toying with them. So they figured out that when they got her the first time, they tranquilized her, and so that's what they did. That's how she, when the previews, when you see her, the trailer, you see her in the cage. That's how she got in the cage, and she pretty much is like, "Let me out of here." So you find out that pretty much Lambert did the recon, and they all was connected. Abigail sit down and read all of them, how they all connected, and Joey, she was in the military. She does have a son, and she wasn't a good mom. And Frank, who's like the main person in the crew, he ended up turning into a vampire. But his deal was that he was linked to Abigail's father, because he was an undercover detective. Undercover, and he was brought down 3 key people in their organization. And then you had Peter. He was connected because he was just killing people, random people out of nowhere, just for the mob, and it killed some of the people that was in their organization. And then Sammy, the money that she was ciphering was affecting the father's business. So Abigail's mission is to kill all her dad's enemies. Her dad doesn't really spend much time with her, and she does mention that, but it made it seem like it was a joke. But she was serious. Her dad doesn't spend time with her, and pretty much she want to earn her dad's love. So she has Lambert sets up his enemies, bring them to the house, and then she kills them for fun. Try to get her dad to take notice in her. So they do all that, and they pretty much trying to figure out how to get out of here. And Abigail bit Sammy. Sammy turned to a vampire. Not at first, though. Abigail was able to, when she was ready, to jump into Sammy's body. And when she jumped into Sammy's body, she was able to take over, kill Peter. Then Joey showed her the reflection of herself, and she exploded. And so what they end up doing is they end up Joey and Frank end up making it to Lambert, and Lambert pretty much was saying, "Hey," told Frank, "I'll turn you into a vampire, and what you'll do is help me kill Abigail, and then when her dad comes, we'll kill him as well, and then we'll take over and run everything." So soon as Lambert turned Frank into a vampire, Frank portrayed Lambert, and then Abigail walked in, but Frank wanted it all, so he got vampire strength, so he overpowered Abigail and started drinking her blood. And so now Frank wanted to kill Joey. And so Joey ran around the house, and they made it to where Abigail, well, he tossed Joey like off of the upstairs, and Abigail slid in and saved her. And that the pact that they had earlier in the movie came full circle, and Abigail pretty much said, "I'm weak right now. I need your help. I need you to help me kill him. If you help me kill him, I'll let you go." And so at that moment, they fought Frank by themselves, and eventually they was able to kill Frank. And right at that moment, after they killed Frank, Lazarus showed up, which is Abigail's father. He showed up and was geared to kill Joey, but Abigail stepped in and said, basically, she helped me, and you're not here. And he's like, I'm here now, pretty much. And so he told Joey, you need to leave. It's almost dinner time. She left, and that was the end of the movie. So it was nothing to the movie. It's not a horror movie. It's a humorous vampire movie. Nothing to rush and go see in a movie theater. Wait till you catch it on a premium channel or a streaming platform. Something that you just happen to watch. Out of my 4-star rating system, I give this movie a 2 out of 4 stars. Just something to watch. Nothing more than that. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.